couldn't get the damn computer to turn on. You know, that's the worst part when you can't get the computer to operate. You can't get the computer to working. You want to talk about Saquon Barkley. You want to talk about the return. You want to talk about everything else. New York Football Giants. And you can't get the computer to work.
I'm Brian Fitzpatrick.
And he's Brian Fitzpatrick, and he approves this message. Brian Fitzpatrick's of Pennsylvania approves the message of Saquon Barkley coming back to MetLife. Not the Meadowlands. He should come back to the Meadowlands. I like him to come back to the Meadowlands instead. Why? Because I enjoyed the Meadowlands more. But we're not going to talk just about the Meadowlands. We're going to talk about the Giants. We're going to talk about everything else as you hit that like button. We haven't done a live stream, in about 2 weeks. So I wanted to jump on. You got the Andrew Thomas situation. You got the Saquon Barkley situation. You got the Daniel Jones, Matthew Stafford situation. You have the Malik Neighbor situation. We got all types of situations. Are they good? Are they bad? Are they indifferent? Let's start with Andrew Thomas first. I'll make sure I get everyone to the chat because I see everybody there. Let's start with the Andrew Thomas situation first. Hold on, I just sent a message. Let's start with the Andrew Thomas situation first. Oh. Does anyone remember last year when you could tell visibly injured Andrew Thomas was kept in the game by the head coach for what unknown apparent reason we still all don't know. And what happened? Poor guy was out for about 7 games with a hamstring injury. So what happens with the Giants? 16-play drive, going in for the touchdown. And they get it. And what happens? Andrew Thomas hurts his foot. Out for the season. Has surgery yesterday. Is this another example of the mismanagement of the injury situation vis-a-vis Brian Daboll? No, the ways I think it is because of the fact, if you think about it, there has been multitudes of occasions where Brian Daboll has left guys in too long. Left guys in when they probably should be sitting on the bench, but he left them in the game. And Andrew Thomas talked about how he gutted it out, how he's played every snap this season. And even after this injury, he can continue to play till the end of the game. I know you're trying to win games. I know you're trying to salvage a season. I know you're trying to save your career. But here's my problem. We kind of need Andrew Thomas. Not just for 2024, but for 2025, 2026, 2027. We need him. Integral part of the offensive line. We look at the mismanagement of the kicking situation. We look at the fact that, especially even last year, he left Daniel Jones into the Wolves in certain games when he should have pulled his quarterback. So you have to sit here and you think about it for a minute. Are we reaching a point where Daboll, the boy wonder, the genius, is not the genius we think he is? Because of the fact that he has this propensity of leaving guys in to either get injured or be injured or continue to be injured. I'm not saying that Thomas's injury was compounded or exasperated by the fact that Brian Daboll left him in for an extended period of time. I'm not saying that. I'm not, because I don't know. I'm not a foot surgeon. I'm not Brian Andrews, whatever his name is. the well-known surgeon. I see Mr. Alvarez saying, who do you put in at left tackle? Mr. Alvarez says, what do you say here? Who do you want to put in at left tackle? I don't want to move Ellie Moore Fudd. I would be fine benching Jones and letting Evan Neal develop to his natural position that himself has said he prefers to play. I've said this before, and people think I'm fucking nuts. I would play Evan Neal. I've seen what Joshua Zuda can do. I've seen what Evan Neal can do. I know where both of them were drafted. I know which one has probably the better skill set. I don't agree with benching Daniel Jones because I don't believe whoever you put in any position with Daniel Jones is going to work out well. He's a coach killer. He's a quarterback killer. He's a wide receiver killer. He's a running back killer. But put in Evan Neal. The guy's natural position. This is the position he played in college. This is the position he said when he came out of college he was more apt to playing. But you can't screw up 5 and 7. No, you can't screw up 5 and 7. So go and draft a guy that says you'd rather play left tackle when We have an all-pro left tackle already. Sometimes you look at these moves that are made and you kind of shake your head a little bit. But why not put in Evan Neal? Why not? How bad is if it's bad? You go from bad to worse to Joshua Zuda. You're gonna move around your offensive line and break the continuity to replace one guy on the line with another guy on the line to move another guy into another position on the line. No, we don't. We do not break the continuity. Good afternoon, Tim and fellow religious members. Please smash the like button on your way in. Jim Mike Leal says, what are the Giants going to do when Saquon Barkley runs wild on them? Oh, yeah. Oh, also, as a Giants home game, the chips are stacked against the G-Men. 3.5 yesterday, they were 3.5 point dogs, the Giants. At home against the Eagles. I could see that. You hope Malik Neighbors comes back. But then you hope that Daniel Jones doesn't over-target him again. Because you see him already over-targeting now. Without Malik Neighbors, we're already over-targeting Darius Slayton and Wanda Robinson ad nauseum. Our passing game is basically a running game. When you average 5 yards a pass play, like we did last week, against the 31st ranked defense in the league, you average 5 yards pass play. Defense only gives up 17 points to a top-ranked offense. Defense is playing well. Shane Bowen's been playing well. I've said it before. He's got them playing giant football. But now you're going to have Devontae Smith, AJ Green at full strength, Jalen Hurts trying to feel his oats a little bit this season, and a motivated Saquon Barkley. What are you going to do? What happens then? Does Barkley run for 200? Do the Giants stop him? Do they go through? I'm doing the same thing that I've said to do before. Attack Brian Burns. Just run right at him. When it was easier before, when you had Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau, you could literally attack one of them. And you usually come up with, excellent results. Does anyone find it interesting that the Giants played better against the run last week? Does anyone find that interesting? The Giants played better against the run last week without the vaunted secondary half of the Ghost Brothers? I find it interesting. Mike Lee says, of course, Tim, it really pissed off the bad dog. What really pissed off bad dog? What really pissed off bad dog? I don't know. Whatever I do. Patrick says, I don't really understand the Barkley hate. All the guy did was be a warrior for you. Everyone talks about, well, Daniel Jones got them to the playoffs. No, Daniel Jones was not. Saquon Barkley, that 2022 season was more imperative to the Giants' playoff success than Daniel Jones ever was. And that's all he's done. All he's done is bled on the field for you. That Jet game last year, he was the offense. Tommy DeVito threw one forward pass, and then the rest was 497 Saquon Barkley runs. I don't understand the hate either. The team didn't want him. Hard Knocks proved it. Team didn't want him. Joe Schoen didn't want to pay him. He didn't want a $45 million quarterback hanging off to a $12 million running back. Somehow that works in Philadelphia, just not in New York. Things that make you go, If the fans can't separate themselves, the player from the team they play for, they immediately hate the player if they leave and play for another team. Saquon Barkley even said he didn't want to go. Saquon Barkley even said, hey, listen, I'll stay. Let's work out a deal. And everyone's like, well, the Giants offered him more money. That first deal. He's just fucking greedy. No. Contract was the same. Giants offered less guaranteed money. That's very important. You could both have $36 million contracts, but one offers you $25 million in guaranteed, and the other one offers you 12. It's really a $25 million to a $12 million deal. Let's see here. Daryl says those Giant fans have reached a small mindlessness of the Cowboys fan base. The Matthew Stafford thing. Oh, dear love. For the love of God, fucking stop. We're not trading for Matthew Stafford. You want to have a $47 million quarterback paired with your $45 million quarterback when you have $3 million in cap space. Okay. You have $3 million in cap space, and he's making $47 million. And you prorate that with the whatever games that are, what do we got? We were 6 games in. So you prorate that over 11 games. So you have $3 million. So let's say you even prorate that and it's $31 million, but you have $3 million. I don't know. Math doesn't seem to add up to me. OG Knock, so let's go, Tim. Everything's good, my brother. Emmanuel says albeit we lose Andrew Thomas. This is a game we win because we don't want to get a higher draft position. I want to win just to beat the fucking Eagles. That's all I want to win. I no longer care about draft position. I no longer care about Daniel Jones. I no longer care about this mess that is referred to now as the New York Football Giants. I just want to win. I just want to beat Philadelphia at home. I do not want to truck my ass all the way out to MetLife to not win. Defense is playing. I think the defense is like top 15 defense. I don't think they're a top 10. I do think they're in the top 15 defense. I think they're going to have their moments, and especially I think these moments are going to be coming soon. We're going to start running into a little bit of a buzzsaw of certain players. And I think when you run into the Eagle team that has a running game and a viable passing game and a running quarterback, I think we're going to be in a lot of trouble. But I just want to win. Big Blue says, sorry, I can't eat Barkley. Business is business. Hopefully, Giants win. I'm not holding my breath, though. I'm not holding my breath, though, either. But I don't want to go out there and fucking lose. I would have been mad if they flexed the game to 4:00, though. I was still waiting for that. I don't see that happening. Hey, everyone, with Thomas gone, is Nate Solder available? I think we should get Pugh off the couch. Even Justin Pugh made a joke about himself in reference to the futility of his play last year. So I got to give Justin Pugh a little golf clap. Yeah, you made a good joke about yourself today on Twitter. My brother James Wayne says, hit the like button. Evan says, at least Thomas doesn't have to block for Jones anymore. Hopefully. We still need Andrew Thomas. That's why I am just keep thinking to myself, did Dable make the mistake again? Did Dable sit there and not understand? Listen, you could see Andrew Thomas was hurt in the third quarter. You could see it. But he continued to move out there. Andrew Thomas even said, I gutted it out. Basically, I gutted it out there. Well, he gutted it out to the fact that you had an x-ray right after the game. The x-ray was scary enough that they took you for an MRI. The MRI was scary enough they sent you to North Carolina to see a foot specialist. Anyone hear of a guy named Greg Oden? Just bringing that up. Yes, we blame the kicker here instead of the $40 million quarterback. James and I were dying because we talked about the fact that we lost this game 17-7. And people are like, well, if we had those 2 field goals, we would have won. And I said to James, I said, okay, 17-7, and you add 6 points.
That's not the way you're supposed to do it, Dad. They want us to do it this
I don't know that way. Why would they change math? Math is math.
Okay,
math
Dad.
is math.
I still come up 17-13. I'm sorry, I still do. What's up, Kevin? Good morning. Peace to you as well. Michael Lee says, with that luck, Evan Neal will be back to his college form. If so, there will be true trade value. This is what I laugh about because I thought about this. You put Evan Neal back into the game. Evan Neal plays surprising. Do you remember when Will Hernandez went out years ago? It was an Eagle game. And they brought in Shane Lemieux. And all of a sudden, Andrew Thomas knew how to play. It's like, oh my God, I know how to play again. I can play. And then they brought Will Hernandez back, and Andrew Thomas forgot how to play. What? How crazy would it be? You put Evan Neal at his natural position, the position he wanted to play, and all of a sudden he starts turning into an All-Pro, and then you know what's going to happen then? The astute Giant fan is going to say, well, we need to move Andrew Thomas to right tackle. Wait for it. Just wait for it. Azuda is terrible. He's not a tackle. Giants are stupid if they have him at tackle. They've been trying to put him at tackle now for a couple of years. I don't even think he's an NFL offensive lineman, let alone a tackle, let alone having to worry about being a tackle. Daryl says, if Jones can get 6 years to prove he's not a starting quarterback, then Evan Neal deserves another shot. Oh, I agree 100%. Here's the thing. You're right. If you gave your quarterback 6 years to prove himself, you can't give Evan Neal 3. I mean, that's true. Let's hear for Prime Times Jones. What is he, 1-15 now? There's something very wrong here. Mike Lee says, asking DJ not to overtarget receivers, asking Dable to take out an injured player for the player's sake. I don't get it, though. You could see he physically was not right. You could see there was something wrong with Andrew Thomas after that drive. You could see it. And you still had 18 minutes left in the game. And you're going to sit there and say, you know what? My star All-Pro, Pro Bowl left tackle is hurting. And he's guaranteed $68 million over the next 3 years. And we're still down in this game. I should just play him. The O-line is screwed. Thomas will be able to operate on an island and allow the other linemen to work out as a unit. Azuda is going to need a lot of help, except a ton of 12 person. You know what? You're right. That's a great point. Evan Neal can perform without a tight end. Evan Neal can perform without support from the running back. What you were previously doing blocking wise is now going to change entirely because of the fact that you are going to need to put somebody somewhere to help somebody. Because I'm going to tell you this, the Eagle line can be scary at times. They have some players on that defensive line. They just kind of need to put it together, and I'm scared that they're going to put it together against the Giants. Mr. Alvarez says, I said to the bench Jones to stop him from getting hurt in case Neal does struggle. Jones' injury clause would have me making caution if I was a Giants out there for the future, but our free agent is a bunch of idiots. So in front of us, a bunch of idiots, so who knows? Oh, I know what you're speaking of in reference to the contract, but you can't play scared. You can't play that way. Because the first thing anyone tells you, and they tell you it's in Pop Warner. And they tell you it's about riding a motorcycle. You can't ride scared. Because when you do, that's when accidents happened. And when they're basically in Pop Warner, I remember. I remember that first year of Pop Warner. They wanted to know who was scared of putting their head in for contact. Because if you're scared to tackle someone, if you're scared to go after somebody, that's when you get hurt. So if we're scared to do something, then Dan Jones immediately is going to get hurt. The Skyline says, I'm curious to see if Brian Burns plays better with Aziz as the opposed to Kayvon going forward. They did last week. Their run defense looked better last week. Except for that terrible run by Joe Burrows. I literally had the Eli Manning sundial, and I had it out when Joe Burrows was running. I'm like, that's night, so it didn't work very well, but neither did the Giants, unless in reference to stopping that run. But they did play wet. They did play better, and I find it interesting because when you have a carbon copy of two guys on each end of the field, and neither one of them can play the run well, and you're shocked that teams are going after the off tackle run. Evan says, Saquon was their best player. I can't understand why fans want to boo him. but he was the identity of our offense. He was all right. He was the identity of the offense. Fucking Hard Knocks. They sat there and they said, the one guy sat there and said, what's our identity now without Saquon? Oh, force feed Malik Neighbors and throw the ball to him out of bounds. He does a face plant and gets a concussion. That's the identity. Better question, says James. Why does everyone hate Saquon but defends Daniel Jones? Ebony and Ivory come together in perfect harmony. Oh, my goodness gracious. Mr. Alvarez says there were multiple games in 2022 where Jones didn't throw for 150 bars. Homeboy carried the luck by and Saquon. There were at least 5 games in that 2022 season. I even said we went through it. I'm not going to go through it again. That we don't win without Saquon Barkley. There's maybe 2 games that if Daniel Jones probably isn't playing quarterback, we don't win. I couldn't care less about Saquon. Players come and go. It's the nature of game. More concerned about beating the Eagles team that just isn't very good. I don't think this is the trap that I really have a feeling that Giant fans are falling into. That the Philadelphia Eagles are not a good team. This is the trap. And this is what worries me. Because the Eagles are a good team. Are the Eagles as good as they were probably during that Super Bowl run? No, but the Eagles are a good team. Let's see. What's his name? Dallas Goedert didn't participate in practice. Milton Williams had an ankle injury. He didn't participate. Williams, their other tackle, one of our tackles didn't. They had a bunch of guys limited practice, and they had some full practice guys as well. But don't lull yourself into this false sense of security that the Eagles are a bad team. Don't, because I think that's what's going to really hurt the Giants when they see, because I've watched every Eagle game so far this year. And I can tell you, I think I think their offense is trying to figure out and trying to figure out how to fit in Saquon Barkley. I do see that. I'm not saying they haven't completely come up with the plan, but those 2 games at the beginning of the season, they don't win without Saquon Barkley. They don't. And you still have Jalen Hurts, who is a good quarterback, who is a good running quarterback, who still gives the Giants fits. He's completed 67% of his passes for almost 1,200 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he's another guy, but he has been sacked 14 times, so you can get after him. He's run with for almost another 200 yards. So he's responsible right now for almost 1,500 yards and 8 touchdowns. And then you got Saquon Barkley, who's got 482 yards and 91 carries. I like Gainwell. You look at their receiving core, you know what? You now are going to have a fully healthy A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. And I like I said, I like Dotson. I know he hasn't been doing much, but he's starting to come in on his own a little bit. I think they're going to start finding him. And the defense, if you take a look at their defense, if you fall into the security that they don't think you have a good defense, I mean, I like Sweat. I think Jalen Carter and I think Jordan Davis are both players. I think they did a really good job of reinventing themselves in the secondary with their 2 picks. That corner from Toledo, that kid has got some skills to pay the bills. What's his name? Mitchell. He's got some skills, and I like the way Cooper DeJean plays as well. So if you think that they are not a good team, you are really lulling yourself into this false sense of security that I still said this before. I think the Eagles are going to be first in the division, and I think they turn this around. I don't want to call it the get right game from Philadelphia, but if Philadelphia won this game 34-17, I wouldn't be shocked. I go back to some of the Eagle games a couple of years ago where we just got blown out, and that stadium, MetLife, looked more like the Link than I've ever seen. 2 years ago, I told everyone I was disgusted by the amount of Eagle fans that were in that stadium. Disgusted by it. Hey, Tim, can we trade for Warren Moon? Oh, wait, he retired. Well, yeah. Who else can we trade for? What else going on? What's up, Chief? What's up, Blaze? Everything's good, man. Dog's home. Dog is home. We still have no answers about the dog. He's doing better. He's looking better. But I think he's looking better just because he's home. But he's still a sick guy. But at this point in time, we still got no clue about the dog. Michael Lee says draft position really doesn't matter since Wile E. Coyote will screw up the pick if he's still there. I love it now because people are like, Schoen has got to give him he's got a stellar class in 2024. It's 6 games. And it's 6 games. And I like how we're already benching Devin Singletary off a guy that had 100-something yards the next game and 40 the next. But we're going to bench him. We're benching Motor already. Tim, can Primetime Jones beat the Birds this Sunday? No, I don't think he can. What's up, Gary? How many years do you feel the Gettle Buns set the franchise back? 3 or 5? We're done with the Gettleman. We are done with the Gettleman issue. You are now going into year 4. If he gets in the draft class, you'll have year 4 of Joe Schoen's drafts. Year 4 of Joe Schoen's free agency. Or year 4 of Joe Schoen's trade failures. It's no longer Gettleman. The moment that Schoen re-signed Daniel Jones to that second contract, I've said it before, he was no longer a Gettleman guy. He's now a Schoen guy, Daniel Jones. And what did Schoen do so far that most people say is one of the best things that he did? Re-signed Dexter Lawrence, re-signed Andrew Thomas, re-signed Saquon Barkley that first time, but didn't go back and re-sign him again. And he which was huge mistakes. And then he let the likes of Saquon Barkley, Xavier McKinney go, which was big mistakes. He let Julian Love go, which was a big mistake. Imagine you had a secondary right now of Xavier McKinney and Julian Love. Just think about that for a second. No, I don't want to think about that. Agreed with the draft position, but I really hate the Eagles and don't want them to beat them. It's not like we have a great quarterback class next year. None of them available. A shine as Daniels, May, Williams shoes. You got Mel Kiper coming out now saying that Sanders is the number 1 quarterback. I can't. Like I said, I was a Carson Beck guy. I said it before the season started. If I had to hang my hat on a quarterback, it was Carson Beck. I'm now off the Carson Beck train. I'm starting to go towards Cam Ward because, like I said, I didn't like what Cam Ward did in Washington State, but I'm watching what he's doing now. And yes, he's got 3 Biletnikoff guys that he's throwing to, but you got Travis Hunter over in Colorado as well. So I don't know. I'm not ready to talk about that yet. Manuel says if Saquon rushed for 200 yards and the second way, does that seal Joe Schoen's fate? Just like AJ went off against the Titans and they got their GM fired. If Saquon goes for 200, let's say Saquon goes for 200, 3 touchdowns, and the Giants lose 35-10. No, Joe Schoen will be back. The Giants aren't known for firing people. The Mets have fired people on the plane coming back from a West Coast trip. The Giants, outside of the doo-doo, do not have a recent history of doing that. Tim, what would you do if you were paid $40 million a year? Simple. I would do this. I don't have a job now. James says the Giants have a history of letting good players leave and bringing in less talented players to take their spots. That's why we got the shit show. Also, it's time to bench Jones. Now, I know everyone is overly concerned about this contract, about the kicker for the injury clause. I get it. You have a segment of Jones enthusiasts who are concerned about it. Listen, you're going to be on the hook for $22 million next year anyways. If you do the June 1st thing, I believe you can divide it up between 2024 and 2025 and 2026. So it would be 11-11. But Schoen could do that before and took the hit all up front. So we have look at the Logan Ryan deal. Schoen does stuff. I go back to that Logan Ryan fucking cap deal. It still makes my head hurt. We're not going to get into it, but we could have saved a hell of a lot more money by prorating that money for Logan Ryan. James says, everyone keeps saying Schoen hit it out of the park with the draft. Thomas and Dexter are our best guys, and they're Gettleman guys. and our best running back is playing on the Eagles. Oh, Mr. Roberts says if Dable keeps this nonsense up, I'm going to start calling him Dave Fool. Mike says, why force Azuda to play left tackle when he isn't one? Either way, play Neal at left tackle, move Ellie Moore to left tackle, and put Neal at right tackle. But that makes too much sense, right? It kind of does. I am not breaking up to the two positions of continuity on the line, which is the tackles, so I could move Ellie Moore Fudd over to the left tackle and put Evan Neal at the right tackle. Why not just put the kid at right tackle, at left tackle, whose position is left tackle, and give him tight end running back help? And shockingly, watch this. If you feel you have a weakness at left tackle, rotate your plays to the right. Float your pocket to the right. Run to the right. And then when the defense overcommits to the right, watch this. Watch this. You ready? Go to the left. Fake to the right. Go to the left. Ho! I read the Titans media. It was Level's second year, and he's struggling mostly because of the fixable mistakes, and they want to replace him. Jones's media is still protecting Jones after 6 years. He's sorry. How much do you think right now that they are sitting there in Tennessee looking at that situation going,
Malik Willis, bring him
looks like they made a mistake trading one guy. Daryl says, how come no one is speaking about how it took Alora Jalari one start to beat Tibbs Sacto? I have been saying it. The run defense, the pass rush, everything else improved without Kayvon Thibodeau. Is it an aberration? Is this by mistake? Or is it the fact that you no longer have carbon copies of the same player on each side? You literally went and Xeroxed this guy and got another guy just like him who both had the same deficiencies and said, what could go wrong? Now you literally have a guy, and I don't know how long Aziz is going to hold up, who can play linebacker, who can cover, and who can play the edge, and you now have him on the field. Funny how the turf monster wasn't afraid of Burrows, but had no problem getting DJ. That turf monster is a bitch. We all know that. Mike Lee says it's because Saquon Barkley is better than DJ, and DJ lovers just can't have that. Saquon's fourth in the league in rushing. There are 2 wins this season so far. Yes, everyone will talk about that dropped pass and how that loss was on him. No, the loss is on the head coach because that was a stupid play. You didn't need to run that play. That was the dumbest play that I've ever seen when you could have just run the ball, had them use their timeouts, kick the field goal, and then give them like 18 seconds. But then there's 2. They don't win the first game of the season. They don't win the Saints game without Barkley. So out of the 3 wins, 2 of them they don't win without Barkley. We never won just because of Saquon. There's plenty of games we won because of Saquon. Everyone wants to talk. You know, I'm going to give you an example. Tennessee Titans 2022. New York Football Giants take that game and that shocking game in Tennessee. They take that game 21-20. Also, it didn't help that they had a missed field goal at the end. That helped the Giants quite extensively. Daniel Jones, 17 passes, 21, 188. Saquon Barkley, 18 carries, 164 yards. Giants don't win that game without Saquon Barkley. You think our 6-year rookie quarterback will ever look better than Dave Brown? Listen, I think he looks better than Dave Brown. I am not going to insult Daniel Jones by disparaging and calling him Dave Brown. Dave Brown was god-awful. Dave Brown almost got Dan Reeves fired. Dave Brown was the epitome of Craig Morton, Joe Pisarcik. Daniel Jones is better than Dave Brown. See, people say I can't say nice things about Daniel Jones. What's wrong with people? So why did we win? As far as offensively, you guys don't know football. That's why I'm starting not to care about this team. Hey, smart guy, who left a comment? If it wasn't for Saquon, then who was the main reason we were good on offense? James, you must not be at work and you're mad about the Mets. I'm so down. I no longer expect us to win games. We're probably should. We should not win this weekend. If we win this game this weekend, I am going to be shocked. I'm going to be shocked because I just don't see it. Because I do think the Eagles are a better team, but they have the old adjective, even going back to the Al Pacino movie on any given Sunday, that there is an opportunity for this giant team to figure something out, to come around. But I just don't see it. I don't see us taking this game. And like I said before, I do think you put in the likes of Azeez Ojulari, I do think that you're going to see a different style defense. I'm very excited to see our defense. Azeez had 2 tackles and 2. I think he had 4 tackles and 2 assists, something like that last week. Nice teaming up with Bobby Okereke and McFadden, and it's going to allow you to you even got Boogie Basham in the game. We really need just a true defensive end. I've said this before, and I've said this a million times. We need a true defensive end. We need a guy that understands who understands how to play the defensive end position. We need a Leonard Marshall. We need a Matthias Kiwanuka. We need a Tuck. We need a Strahan. We just need a guy that gets it and can figure it out. Like I said, we need an OC. We need an OC in Europe. We need someone that can play the run and rush the passer. Mike Lee says the fans think that the Eagles are not good team. The same fans that think the Giants were a playoff team. Well, I'm not going to say that yet. Eddie says, go Eagles, go Giants. Blue, 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 blue. Love them all. Got to love them all. Good afternoon, Tim. What's going on, my brother? Everything's going good. How you doing today? How you doing on this fine Thursday? What's up, Tim? Thoughts on pulling DJ the rest of the season so we don't risk the injury clause? I keep hearing Stafford rumors too, but that seems unlikely. The Stafford rumors are just not going to happen. I don't know. We talked about this earlier in the stream. You got a guy making $40 million in Daniel Jones. You got a guy making like 47 in Matthew Stafford. You prorate the rest of his games over $11 million. So he's going to say, he's going to make 38. And the Giants have $3 million in cap space. Doesn't work. It's like you're trying to finish a puzzle with an orange. It's just not going to work. And then you're going to bring in a quarterback, have him try to learn the system, get him up to speed in time so he can be available to play when you're maybe 2-7. And then you're going to have to eat his guaranteed contract next year and still own Daniel Jones $22 million. Can we trade owners? We can give the Raiders John Mara. We take Mark Davis. No, I don't want that trade. I don't want that trade, Kevin. Joe Rev says, I don't trust his regime to pick a good quarterback in this draft class. I don't either. I don't trust his regime at all to pick a quarterback. And honestly, if he keeps on this pace, I don't think his regime is going to be here. Mel Kiper doesn't know quarterbacks. Mel Kiper literally said that Sanders is the top quarterback in this draft now. American football fans, 2-15 season coming up. We're losing the damn Panthers. What quarterback are we going to look at this draft? I like Cam Ward as well. I was not a Cam Ward fan. I was literally not a Cam Ward fan. I think it was the Virginia Tech game. And I'm watching this kid, and they barely won that game. And I'm watching this kid, and I'm like, he moves well in the pocket. He senses pressure. He has this feel about it. Yeah, he's got 3 Biletnikoff finalists, but he has this mobility. He has this presence. He did something that I've maybe seen a handful of times in 6 years. He literally checked out of plays. I was like, what is he doing? Why is he all of a sudden backing off the line and calling something else and moving his hands like this and pointing to people and calling different plays? What is that? That's a flag. You are not allowed to check out of a play. You are not allowed to audible. What the hell? Couldn't believe it. What if the Giants trade Matthew Stafford and sign him to a 2-year deal? That's great. He's going to have to, you still have the guaranteed money. You still have the guaranteed money for this year. That money's guaranteed. So it's not like you can convert it into a salary bonus because it's already guaranteed. You could figure out a way next year to get him in, but you got to get him in this year. And who says the Rams want to trade? The Giants aren't concerned about Jones and the health clause. If they didn't care, they would have run him as much as not up the middle. Well, you have to run him up the middle because that's his only strength. The reason they run him up the middle is they're taking advantage of the over-aggressiveness of the defense. We've said this before. How many times has Daniel Jones against over-aggressive teams, and this goes back all the way to Jason Garrett, how many times did he literally just run a design play because they knew the defense was going to be over-aggressive, and the opening point is going to be in the middle? So they have to. What's up, Brian? Hey, Tim. From what I see at the Giants, at the game, the Hyatt was not running his route right, or was it just because of Daniel Jones? I don't know what's going on with Hyatt. There's something going on with Hyatt there. I will say this: there was a couple plays with Hyatt that he was open, and he had more than a step, and Jones didn't even look to that side of the field. He checked down to Wandell. It's like if you continue to look at Hyatt for another second, you could literally see he had already a step on the defender and there was no over-the-top safety. But instead, he checked it down for 4 yards to Wandell. I think a lot of this, and that's what I love about people saying, well, we had to get Malik Neighbors, we had to get him a weapon, we had to get him a weapon, we had to get him a weapon. Okay. And I said it before. You had Evan Ingram, who was terrible here, but all of a sudden had the second most receptions by a tight end last year. You went out and got Golden Tate, who was the Golden Domer, the Golden Boy. Everyone loved him. All of a sudden, he was just terrible. You going out to smooth out. You went out and got Baby Megatron, 2,000-yard seasons in Detroit. Evidently, he's god awful here. Paris Campbell had his best season in Indianapolis the year before. He's a bum. He comes here. He's a bum. Nobody wants him. Waller. Yeah, everyone thought he was going to be the guy he was a couple years back. All of a sudden, he didn't know how to play, even though it was interesting the fact that it looked like you were going to go throw him into coverage and get him killed. You went out and drafted Wandale Robinson. To me, he was basically a running back. You went out and also drafted Kadarius Toney, who, of course, was a big mistake. And I said that the day we drafted him. We have all these guys that we bring in for Daniel Jones to help Daniel Jones succeed. But for some reason, all of them are terrible. So the question is, are they terrible? Or are they guys that just shouldn't be? Or is there a guy somewhere that just shouldn't be here? Yes, that is correct. Matt Stafford is under contract to 2026, but you can't extend him and you can't change the money in 2026. At the end of the year, what's our record now with at the end of the day, what is our weighting with Saquon? I honestly think we have a winning record if we have Saquon Barkley. I think the record should be reversed if you have Saquon Barkley. Does the Giants finally figure out DJ is not the guy count? No, it should count. Let's see here. Mr. LeVar, Tim says, Tim, I'm here. Let's talk. Stafford rumors are on Chat Sports. Enough said. Chat Sports. I feel bad for the guy at Chat Sports. I really do. He's probably a good kid. He's probably a nice guy. Probably walks his old ladies across the street, drives kids to the dialysis machine, but he's a fucking idiot. Doesn't know anything about football. Doesn't know anything about basketball. Someone sent me shit he said about basketball. I'm like, basketball is a sport where they put the ball in the hoop, right? They don't kick the ball around on the ground. That's the sport, right? And then some of the shit they say about football, the Giants, you're just like, you're watching football, right? Not European football, the other football, right? Chat Sports is bleep. Bleep is offended that you use Chat Sports in the same. Oh, Blaze, that's pretty good. I am not a fan of the Alabama quarterback. I'm telling you, man. I just have this. What's his name? Milroy, whatever his name, Jetson and Milroy. Meets George Jetson, his boy Milroy. I know it's not Milroy. Mr. Damien says, Tim is really. I'm starting to hate this team. I love for long. The way they play as if they know they suck. It is obvious. But here's the problem. I don't think it's that. I think the defense has been playing more up to specs than I ever thought they would. I think it's the fact that you just can't figure out the offense. I did a video yesterday and basically said Giant fans need to go out and apologize to Jason Garrett, because Jason Garrett was right. Jason Garrett and Joe Judge knew what they had in Daniel Jones and understood, listen, we are not going to let him lose us the game. We are not going to put him in a situation where Daniel Jones costs us a game. We're not going to do it. And they built an offense that way. They built a dink and dunk offense relying on the ability to run. And that's what Joe Schoen did and Brian Dable did. And that's how he started out 7-2, but then finished 2-5-1 because the league is a smart league and they get film and they figure shit out. Cam Ward is my quarterback. Cam Ward is my quarterback too. Like I said, I was never a big Cam Ward fan, but then I started watching more games. I was watching more games and I'm like, this Cam Ward guy, you know what? This guy's not bad. What are we doing here? A little bit of house cleaning here as always. If you're going to be in Jersey on October 28th, if you're going to be around Clifton, New Jersey on October 28th, I'm doing a live stream from the Shannon Rose Bar and Grill in Clifton, New Jersey at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October 28th. That is going to be the Steelers-Giants game. Going to be live streaming from the pub. And then I'm going to call the first half, and we'll see how the second half goes. But I will be calling the first half as well. We're going to be giving out T-shirts. We're going to be giving out all this fun stuff. So if you're going to be in New Jersey or already in the New Jersey area, October 28th, Monday night, Clifton, New Jersey, Shannon Rose, Irish Bar and Grill. Going out there tomorrow to check out the food, so I can give you an update of how good the food in the bar is. So make sure you stay tuned for that, because that's gonna be a lot of fun. And if you're not gonna be around, if you're not in the Jersey area, make sure you just tune in for the live stream. We're gonna be giving away a lot of fun stuff, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I always laugh when people ask me to do things. It's like, why? Literally, their marketing agency called me and said they would like you to come out and do a live stream from the bar. And I said, have you watched the show? Do you know who I am? Have you watched it? Also want to thank Yesol Fitness. Also, they're a new partner coming on next month, so make sure you stay tuned for that as well. Juan says, I believe Cam Ward is better than Malik Willis. This year, Malik Willis coming out of college? That's, I think, should be the question. Giants 34. Can we trade Kayvon to the Browns for Myles Garrett? I keep seeing the Eagles fans are saying they heard rumors of Garrett being available, traded to the. Here's the thing about the Eagles. This is weird about the Eagles. If I saw a rumor that said Matthew Stafford was going to the Eagles, because let's say Jalen Hurts got hurt, I would be like, oh my God, he's going to the Eagles. Because the Eagles Howie just figures shit out. If I would see that Myles Garrett was coming to the Eagles, I would believe it. Coming to the Giants, no, and they're not going to take Kayvon. You're not going to trade an injured guy for another injured guy who, even injured, is playing and is 10 times better than the guy you're going to trade for. No, they're not going to do that. Number 8 is out there making a wide receiver do conditioning they're doing wind sprints. They're doing the Giant wide receivers have to be in the best shape of their lives, because they're doing suicides every Sunday. I hope Malik Neighbors is back. I enjoy watching the kid play, and I enjoy watching the Giants force feed the ball. Cam, to me, has that clutch factor. Cam Ward really does. Like I said, I was not a Cam Ward fan. I was a guy when I watched Cam Ward play at Washington, I was like, he's okay. You know, I don't see that that's something special. And yes, I understand, like I said, he's at Miami. He's at an uber talented team in Miami. But in 6 games, the guy is throwing for over 2,200 yards and 20 touchdowns. His best season in 12 games in Washington, he threw for 3,700 yards and 25 touchdowns. He will break that by like game 8 and probably have 30 touchdowns. Yes, he makes some perplexing throws, but he also makes some throws you're just like, and his yards per attempt. Daniel Jones' yard per attempt last game was 5. Cam Ward is 10.4. League average is 7. His yards per attempt is 10.4. That means when he throws the ball, he is looking almost 10 and a half yards down the field on every play. That's fucking mind blowing. He leads the NCAA in yards per game pass attempt. He also leads in yards adjusted per game pass attempt. He also leads the league in the NCAA in yards gained per completion, in touchdowns, and in yards. He's silly stupid right now. Am I delusional, or is it possible to play a quarterback for New York? The team never had a true elite quarterback. You are delusional. Because you got to remember, I've said this before, Giant history did not start in 1993, and I'm not making fun of you. You literally had 2 guys on the Giants, and people don't remember this. You had 2 guys on the Giants that won league MVP. You had twice. Each of them won it twice. 2 guys who won league MVPs twice at the quarterback position. People forget about that. So, and Mr. Esquire, I'm not making fun of you, but go back and look up Charlie Conley. Go back and look up Wyatt Tittle. 2 guys that won league MVPs twice for the Giants. Mr. Roberts, if the Giants would drop the first round quarterback, there's some outside other than the first round. I will like Will Howard, Garrett Newsom, Alter. You know what? I don't want a guy that we're going to have to cross our fingers and pray, because you do that anyways when you draft someone in the first round. It's always a crapshoot. But I want talent. Milroy doesn't look like a passer as much as he is an athlete. Dude can chuck the rock, though. He really can. He can. I'm not a big fan of him either. I know he's kind of coming into his own right now, but I'm not a fan of him yet. So Cam Ward is ideal. The main thing you want from a quarterback, all the Giants would want to do, is stop him from being the hero ball, and that's pretty easy to fix. You know, I keep thinking, I always laugh when I look at certain quarterbacks, because I looked at Cam Ward and I was like, you know, Cam Ward's this guy that's, you know, he looks like Kyler Murray to me. Now I understand he's college 6'2", but he's 6'2", 200 something pounds. So the kid's pretty solid. Hey, Tim, Stanley says, I think Sanders is the best quarterback prospect because he looks like the most NFL ready, and Quinn is also NFL ready to play. Quinn's got to get on the field, and I don't think he's ever going to see the field again. You got Archie Manning being Archie Manning. Quinn better hope that Archie Manning, just goes the wrong direction right now, because Arch looks good. I mean, Arch, I loved it though, because you already have analysts in Texas worried that he's gonna leave early. They're already worried that he could leave after 2025. So, I think that's crazy. And I know that I know what happened just recently with Cam and with Quinn and Eli, but it's crazy that you're going to bring Quinn in and that you're going to put him back as a starter. I think that's nuts, but it is what it is. I mean, Eli Manning's going to get his shot, but do I think it was a Wally Pipp moment for Manning and Quinn? Yes, and you should ride the hot hand. It feels like Mara doesn't care about the fans. I don't think he cares about the fans. I really don't. We're not going Milroy, Ward, or Sanders. You know why? The Giants use a different color scheme. I always jokingly say we're not going to do it because then the carpet doesn't match the drapes. Oh, the next Giants quarterback needs to be Dan Marino as his spirit animal. I like that. Hey, Tim, knowing that the Giants should have not drafting black quarterbacks, I think they're going to draft the Penn State. You know what? I don't know. You know, sometimes you have to defy history. Sometimes you have to do something different. Said it before, be bold and mighty forces will come to your aid. His game against Cal stuck to me. Yep. Let's see here. Let's unretire Eli. At least he could put us into the playoffs. David says, why can't we just accept it? We are not drafting a quarterback. Jones will be starting next year. Mara's holding out for another Arch Manning. I honestly do think that Daniel Jones is going to be here next year. I've been saying that for a while now. I've been saying that people are like, well, you get rid of him, you eat the $22 million, you do the post June 1st, you divide that $22 million over 2 seasons, so you're only looking at $11 million dead cap number each season, and you bring in a free agent quarterback. And my question always is to people, who's the free agent quarterback that you're bringing in? What's the guy? Who's the guy? There was guys over the last 2 years we could have brought in, not looking at you, Baker Mayfield, and been that bridge or even been more than a bridge. Daniel Jones, most passing yards touchdown thrown at Duke, 22. Cam Ward is easy upgrade. I'm just going to jump on the tank for Arch wagon, and I don't care if it's going to be 2 years. Yeah, I know. We were just talking about Quinn. Texas is benching Manning for Quinn because he's coming back from injury. I do not agree with that at all. Like I said, you got a kid that is going to be the future of your team over the next 2 years. You got a kid he's only 19 years old, but he's thrown for 900 yards and 9 touchdowns. And you're gonna move on from him. I mean, it's crazy. He had that one game. He was 9 for 12 for 223 and 4 touchdowns. He won. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. It's crazy to me. I know he played the last game, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. He got benched and they brought in Quinn. I'm saying that's what I'm saying. But I don't know. I don't know. You ride the hot hand. That's all I'm gonna say. Milk Toast, aka Danny Crimes, aka Danny Nichols, will be here next year. He's gonna be here next year. So we just have to get over it. We all have to just take a deep breath in. Harness our feng shui and understand that, yes, this guy is going to be here. He's going to be here for good or bad or indifferent. He's your bridge. Bridge over troubled waters. Daniel Jones will still suck. Sanders has the clutch factor as well. I don't like his attitude. I don't. I'm not seeing Josh Rosen. When Josh Rosen came out and there was speculation that the Giants were interested in Josh Rosen, I saw some of his interviews around California, and I saw some of the interviews that he did and some of the things that he said and some of the things that stuck with the media. And I'm like, you cannot bring this guy into New York. I even did a whole video about it. You cannot draft Josh Rosen. You cannot bring him into New York because the New York media is going to kill him and is going to eat him alive. And he's going to do something and say something stupid. And you can see he did not have the right. You can have the talent, but you have to have the right attitude to play in New York. And I don't think Sanders has it. I think he's got too much of his father in him, which would make sense. But the problem is this. I don't think he's as good as his father was. I like Quinn, and he's the type of quarterback that the Giants will draft. Ron Juan said, somebody said the DJ did enough for us to win the past Saturday. I was like, what? I mean, Daniel Jones ran for 56 yards, 22 of 41 for 205, 5 yards an attempt. He had that bad interception. There's always a bad interception. There was always fumble. He was responsible for 301 yards of offense. Tyrone Tracy, 17 carries, 52.9. I love how he's going to replace Devin Singletary. But then we also talk about the fact that he had 6 catches, 57, 9.5. But you also remember Darius Slayton had 6 catches, 57 for 9.6. And Wanda Robinson, 5 catches, 50 and 10, because we don't throw the ball more than 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. I don't see what Daniel Jones did. Here's the thing that people talk about. He did enough for us to win the game. He did more for us to lose the game than he did for us to win the game. We've seen it for 6 years now. And I've been calling him One Drive Danny for years. He has one good drive. And I laughed because in 2022, I was at a game. I can't remember who I was at the game with. And we were both sitting there, and I laughed because it was the first drive of the game. It was like an 11-play, 90-yard drive. Fans were going crazy. Everything was like, look at that drive. And I remember looking over to the guy I was with, and I said, that's it. We had our one drive of the day, and we wasted it on the first drive of the game. And it was true. We didn't have a good drive after that. Don't you put that evil on me. I got to find it. But you know what? I have it readily available. Watch this.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on us.
You need that one always available. Don't put that evil on me. I'm about to say Tommy DeVito, old manager, to give Jones cement shoes. Joram says, I think Mara is waiting for Eli's kid to be available. He's got all daughters. But I laugh because that does seem like the Mara thing to do. I'm going to wait for Eli's son to be available. Well, he's got all daughters. So I don't think that's going to happen. I thought we got a giant notification in here. I thought we had a job notification. We got a which notification there? I thought we had a giant notification there. No, we don't. I can't do another year of Dan the doo-doo man. Mr. Blazen says, all these people watching and chatting and nobody's clicking the like. Come on, fellas. We got to tighten up. Yeah, nobody's clicking the like. I didn't even look. 28. We had 100-some people in here a minute ago. That means 28 and 100 something. Carry the 2. I'm going to do giant math. Doing the 2 means we should have 4,968 likes. I think Drew Aller is intriguing prospect because he's got the NFL prototype. Typical prototype. I agree, but I want a guy. I don't know. Big Chris with Love MMA. Smash that like, family. Hopefully, from what I'm understanding, if you're going to be here, like I said, around October 28th, Monday night in Clifton, New Jersey, the Shannon Road Irish Bar and Grill. I believe for the Chris with Love MMA is going to be there. I know James Williams is going to be there. I know Big El Gigante is going to be there. And we're going to have a couple other people that you see on the show that are always going to be there. We're going to be hanging out. So make sure you come and hang out with us. I don't know what the room is going to be yet. I don't know if we got a room. I don't know if we're in the bar. I'm going to have no idea what we're doing until tomorrow. So we'll give you more information on that tomorrow. Hey, Tim. What's up, James? Since people called Jones Vanilla Vic, should we call Joe Burrow's Joe Jetstream after his 50-yard run against us? First of all, I believe it was a 46-yard run. So let's not give him more than he deserves. I believe it was a 46-yard run. I like that. I like Joe Jetstream. What does Kevin say? Kevin says DJ stats 1,343 yards, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. QBR 41.6. Arch stats 191, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Arch has this surpassed DJ has played last Saturday. He hadn't played last Saturday. Oh my God. Wait, Blaze, that's not right. We shouldn't have 4,968 likes. That's not right. By mind, using giant math, that's what we should have. Let's see where we're at here. We're at 32 likes now. But that's the like total. I don't even know what we got going on Twitter. I don't know whatsoever. I got no clue what's going on half the time. But that's the beauty of this show. People say we're not professional. I think we're so professional here. Joining us for lunch, doing everything, doing that thing you do. I love it. I'm on Twitter right now. The first thing is, should the Giants buy, sell, or hold at the trade deadline? I have to give Carl Banks props. I do. I gotta give Carl Banks props because of the fact that he posted something on Twitter.
Yeah, give me props, man.
I have to give him props because he posted something on Twitter about Pepper Johnson tackling Randall Cunningham, and he basically showed, he's like, that's how you tackle and that's how you do this. So my smart ass at this, I posted in Carl Banks's chat or whatever you want to call it on Twitter. I posted the video of Carl Banks hitting Randall Cunningham and having Randall Cunningham bounce up in the air and bounce back on his feet and throw a touchdown to what's his name? Jimmy Giles. So, in all fairness, and I even wrote, I think I'm being an ass here. And even in all fairness, Carl Banks reposted it. And I thought that was funny. I'm like, okay, well, that's okay. I'm going to give Carl a little bit of a break this week. That Burrow's run was the longest run by a Bengals quarterback in history. Yes, it was. Whoa, when was this going to be? Oh, let's go see that. Giants always break records for the worst thing. James says, if I don't have a forklift and not kill people, then you can hit the like button. Carl Banks, Boomer, and Tiki all have started to come to see the light on Jones. Yeah, Carl Banks posted something else that I was kind of surprised about. And hold on, let me see if I can find it. I'm not giving Carl any props. I gave him props. I gave him roses. I gave him flowers. So you know what? You don't fucking come on and be on the show. And I give him roses and I tell him what nice things about him. He just needs to just be quiet then. Let's see there. He said something good. I don't know what he said. Carl Banks says something smart, and then I'm and then I can't find it. I don't know. Why can't my Twitter work? He said something about how he's going to call the games and how he's going to, he's going to say it like it is and he's going to be fair and honest. And I saw that and I was like, all right, yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'm done being nice to people. Screw you. Stanley says, hey, Tim, who is a player? When a player plays, and a player's gonna play. With the Giants, they struggle, but as soon as they go to another team, they strive. James Williams, there's a current Giant quarterback. I need you to get. No, we're not killing anyone. That's not nice. We're not killing anyone. All right, everyone. This was just a short lunchtime live stream because I haven't done a live stream in 2 weeks because of everything that's been going on. Haven't decided fully yet if I'm going to the game yet. So if I go to the game on Sunday, well, there will be no live stream, but there will be a live stream on Monday. And don't forget, October 28th, Monday night, Steelers vs. Giants, live stream, Clifton, New Jersey, Shannon Rose, Irish Bar and Grill. Come on out. Watch this mess in person because there's nothing better than watching a train wreck when you're right in front of it. Oh, I want to thank everyone for hanging out. This is Tim here at Giant Straight Talk, Power of Online Big Blue LLC. Hopefully we'll do a live stream, maybe some evening ones so people can catch them. And I love everyone. It's just one of those days. Thank you for hanging out. Peace.